Namaste and good morning. Welcome to the Sola Ani Daily Brief, your daily dose of business news that matters. I'm your host, and today is Thursday, March 26, 2026. Markets are closed today for Ram Navami, but there's plenty to talk about. Let's dive in. First up, here are today's top headlines. 1. Indian stock markets are closed today for Ram Navami, but not before a blockbuster rally yesterday. Sensex surged over 1,200 points. 2. The government has retained the 4% inflation target for the RBI for the next 5 years, all the way to March 2031. 3. A parliamentary committee report reveals that 6 out of 8 MSME budget promises are still just on paper. 4. Tata Steel's brand new green steel plant in Ludhiana is now operational. A 3,200 crore bet on sustainable manufacturing. And 5. Euler Motors just raised 437 crore in Series E funding, while Flipkart has officially moved back home to India ahead of its mega IPO. Let's take a deeper look at the big picture first. What's happening with oil, the rupee, and your cost of doing business? If you've been watching global markets, you know the Middle East situation has been the elephant in the room. Since the US and Israel launched strikes on Iran in late February, oil prices have been on a roller coaster. Brent crude touched nearly $120 a barrel before easing to around $96 currently. That's still significantly elevated. Now, why should you care? India imports 88% of its crude oil. Higher oil means a weaker rupee, which hit a record low of 93.94 against the dollar just 3 days ago. Our forex reserves have dropped to about $710 billion as the RBI spends dollars defending the currency. The silver lining? Indian oil companies are absorbing the shock for now. Petrol and diesel prices haven't been hiked despite the global surge. But if crude stays above $90 for much longer, that cushion will thin out. If you're in manufacturing, logistics, or any business with fuel-heavy operations, this is the time to lock in your contracts and hedge your costs. Don't wait for the price hike announcement. On the brighter side, yesterday's market rally was something. Sensex jumped 1,205 points, that's 1.6%, to close at 75,273. Nifty was up nearly 1.7% at 23,306. The trigger? Reports of diplomatic progress in US-Iran peace talks, which eased some of that oil anxiety. Markets reopen tomorrow, and traders will be watching closely whether this momentum holds. Moving on to a story that directly affects every small business owner listening, the government's MSME promise gap. A parliamentary committee report has found that of the 8 announcements made for MSMEs in the last budget, only 2 have been fully implemented. Let that sink in. MSMEs contribute 31% of India's GDP, employ over 32 crore people, and account for 35% of manufacturing output. Yet 6 key schemes are still stuck in bureaucratic limbo. There is some positive movement though. The government has amended the Mutual Credit Guarantee Scheme to now include service sector MSMEs and support manufacturing exports. And a Rajya Sabha committee has proposed a new nano enterprise category for the smallest businesses that fall below the current micro threshold. If you're an MSME owner, here's what you should do. Check if the amended credit guarantee scheme applies to your business. The expanded scope means more businesses can now access collateral-free credit. Visit the MSME Ministry portal or talk to your bank. Now for some good news on the industrial front. Tata Steel has commissioned India's first scrap-based electric arc furnace plant in Ludhiana. This is a 3,200 crore investment spread over 115 acres with a capacity of 750,000 tons per year. The plant runs on recycled steel scrap, produces less than 0.3 tons of CO2 per ton of steel, and gets nearly half its energy from renewable sources. Why does this matter for MSMEs? 2 reasons. First, Ludhiana is India's manufacturing heartland. This plant will supply construction-grade steel rebar to the entire northern market. If you're in construction or real estate in North India, expect better availability and potentially more competitive pricing. Second, It's creating 2,700 direct jobs and up to 10,000 indirect jobs. That's a significant economic boost for the region. In the startup world, two big developments. Euler Motors, which makes electric commercial vehicles, raised 437 crore in a Series E round led by Lightrock, with Hero MotoCorp also participating. Euler now holds 22% of India's four-wheeler electric cargo market. If you run a delivery or logistics business, keep an eye on their expanding product line. Commercial EVs are getting more viable by the quarter. And Flipkart has officially completed its redomiciliation from Singapore back to India. This is huge. The Walmart-owned e-commerce giant is now headquartered in India and is targeting an IPO valued between $36 and $50 billion. This follows a broader trend. Zepto, Grow, and others have also moved back. For the Indian startup ecosystem, this is a massive vote of confidence. Finally, a quick note on gold. Prices have been volatile but remain elevated. Currently trading at about 14,700 rupees per gram for 24 carat, gold hit a record $5,117 per ounce globally earlier this month. If you've been considering gold as a hedge against rupee weakness, the current pullback from the highs might be worth watching, but don't chase the peak. So what does all this mean if you're running a business in India today? First, watch your input costs. Oil at $96, a weak rupee, and elevated commodity prices mean your margins are under pressure. Renegotiate supplier contracts now before the next price revision. Second, if you're an MSME, actively check the amended credit guarantee scheme. The government has expanded it to service businesses and exporters. Free money is rare. Collateral-free credit is the next best thing. Third, the Flipkart redomiciliation and Euler Motors funding show that smart money is betting big on India. If you're building a business with solid fundamentals, the ecosystem is more supportive than ever. And fourth, with markets closed today, use the breather to review your portfolio and positions. Tomorrow's session could be volatile depending on overnight global cues. That's your Sola Ani Daily Brief for today. If you're thinking about buying or selling a business, head over to solaani.com. That's 126ane.com, where we make business deals sola aane pakka. See you tomorrow.